Mr. President, members of the Election Committee, I am deeply honored and humbled at your choice. In starting National Instruments, we wanted to start a revolution too in the way scientists and engineers worked. Historically, instrumentation was fixed function boxes that did a certain function, and our goal was to unleash the power of software, and what we would call the software is the instrument. It would be a revolution too in the way instrumentation is done. Now National Instruments works with hundreds of thousands of projects, millions of engineers around the world in every aspect of science and engineering. For example, private companies now that are doing space directly, we're involved in everything from the design, the testing, the manufacturing, and even the big control systems that are used to launch the vehicles. In the area of 5G, we're working on state-of-the-art 5G research activities where our products are used to prototype next-generation systems. In autonomous vehicles, we have worked on many projects. One of the early successes was in 2007, even before people were thinking seriously about autonomous vehicles. We were working with a team at the Virginia Tech that came in number 3 in the DARPA Grand Challenge prize to show that it is possible in the urban setting to have autonomous vehicles. So in the areas of big physics, we have products used throughout the CERN Large Hadron Collider. In the experiment to do gravity, prove Einstein's theory about gravity, our measurement technology was used. So access to the scientists and engineers around the world has been a great goal of ours. Our team here in Armenia are supporting those scientists and engineers. So they too have access to many, many different applications. So in this background, we are in a position at National Instruments and here in Armenia to revolutionize the way science and engineering is done. And Armenia over the last decade has made tremendous progress in the educational system to educate the engineers. We know in the modern era, it is a software era, but it's also necessary to get engineers grounded in the real world. We call it hands-on. Engineers, hands-on learning, and here at Armenia Polytechnic, we've got state-of-the-art. I visited dozens of these facilities. Armenia has, I would say, go forward and say, the best hands-on training facility for engineers to train in all aspects of next-generation 5G, wireless technology, Internet of Things, autonomous driving. So that hands-on, whatever aspects of engineering and science the scientist works in, gives them grounding. In the old days, we could take our cars apart and make them work. That's no longer true. So we need alternatives. In Armenia, those alternatives have been established. So we do have the base, the starting point that we can take forward and work with the scientists and engineers here in Armenia who can then work on the global scale. The world has changed too in the fact that information is very, very broadly available. And the only trick is teach the students how to access it. It's there, and it's immediately there. So it's possible for this technology to be right here in Armenia, the absolute latest state-of-the-art so that you can compete on a global scale. With the high level of motivation, work ethic, intelligence, training, Armenians are in a very strong position to move forward, to create a framework for the next revolution in science and technology and make a difference in the world and create those very, very good jobs that we all aspire to. I've really enjoyed my visit this time here. I was very impressed with the work at Synopsys, where they've integrated the teaching in the university with training engineers ready to go to work, sometimes even getting a head start as they're learning. This is a role model. This is an example that can be carried forward. And I can assure you that the semiconductors we're all using, the cars that will be driving autonomously, are using the technology that Synopsys is creating. So just like National Instruments, Synopsys is another good example of how technology is state-of-the-art right here in Armenia and can really make certain that we have our place here in Armenia in the next generation of technology. Culturally, Armenia has a long history. I visited the Manuscripts Museum. I was fascinated how Armenia had a good head start on whether the moon went around the Earth or whether Earth went around the sun long before it was later established. So there's a long history of technology, of success, of culture, and I believe that will stead Armenia very well as it goes forward over the next decade. So thank you for this great honor, and I thank you for inviting me here.